の木の下 Fork the wrong 一緒に来ないか Let's dream in
Good evening and welcome back to my dwarven fortress of Keskalokil, where last session we managed to get pretty much all of the dwarves not to be unhappy, to the point where I was reasonably comfortable. Basically we have one adult who is in danger of depression, but since they are in a military squad that's in permanent training, I don't think they can actually try to ride the minecarts and learn to swim. And so we have allowed dwarves to start riding minecarts and learning to swim again. And this has probably had some benefits. And I have been putting dwarves into the squads of military dwarves who know how to swim, basically as I happen to stumble upon them knowing how to swim. This hasn't been, we haven't got everyone able to swim, which would explain why there are quite so many drowned dwarves around here. I think they've been meeting up with the giant bluejays and dodging the giant bluejays and then falling in the sea and drowning. This is not the most helpful thing for them to have been doing, really. So yes, I hope we can train more dwarves to swim so that fewer of them will dodge into the sea and drown. Also, it appears to be cherry blossom season, as we can see from the falling cherry blossoms all over the map. So these giant blue jays are also providing us with a ludicrous amount of additional food. I think our major consumption of barrels is going to be to make barrels to store spare food in. Like, happily, our deep level stockpiles carved out of old kaolinite workings are quite capacious. So I don't think we're going to actually run out of places to store the food. But it is slightly silly how much of it we've got now, because the wildlife keeps attacking people, and then therefore we keep killing the wildlife, and therefore we end up with yet more meat. For a while this fortress was mostly vegetarian, but yes. We then cut down slightly too many trees. And that changed. Not that the elves seem to have complained about us cutting down the trees, it's only the local wildlife that complains. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what I'm doing now. Possibly I should do my usual thing of just inspecting the people who are currently riding minecarts and going, well, you apparently know how to swim. You do appear to have the problem that you're in some way injured, possibly such that you can't stand, though. Yeah. Okay, yes, I think your legs are both, given the lower spine nervous tissue cut apart, I think your legs are probably paralysed. Maybe you're not the best fighter then. Let's not put you in the military. How about you? You're not yet good enough at swimming. Right. I suppose really I should watch them when they get off the minecart, at which point they are maximally trained in swimming. So is that lever now linked up to something? Looks like it, yes. So I should rename that lever to West Gate, being the new West Gate lever, after someone toppled the old one. Connected up to the new West Gate, which we constructed largely because I realised it would probably be better if the drawbridge opened outwards so that it might accidentally kill goblins rather than opening inwards so that it would accidentally kill dwarves. So, yeah, we still have agitated giant bluejays around somewhere. Like, the patrolling military should deal with them. I should mostly try to spot them if they're around here, because those ones are likely to be dangerous. Oh yes, how's our filling up the pedestals with goblin heads going? That one's assigned but not yet installed. Right, we'll wait for that to happen before we assign another one then. Actually, several of them are assigned because I found a group of them in the list, didn't I? Yes. Right, let's wait for those three and then we'll see where we are. So, you're still a novice swimmer. I think you were dabbling before, if you're the same person I looked at then. You're an adequate swimmer. And not yet in any squad, and you have no useful skills yet, but no, let's not do that. At some point you will depart. Okay, how about you? You look like you're slightly ill. Yeah, ability to grasp somewhat impaired, but that doesn't look like you're going to be permanently stuck using only one hand. Oh no, his right hand is gone. Oh, you're on wrist knock him. Yes, sorry. Yes, you definitely don't get to join the military because zero-handed dwarves are problematic. So I try to only go down to one-handed dwarves.
Come back here, I'll kick you to death.
Yes, but they can't like feed themselves and that kind of thing. It's not that they're no good in combat. I'm sure they're still reasonably effective in combat, especially if you give them steel boots and a steel helmet. But the problem is that they can't eat or drink, and that makes them very unhappy.
So what, they have to stay in the fortress where someone can help them feed?
If they're lucky, yes. So what I want thus is if thus a dwarf who's lost one hand, I want to keep out of the military so they don't lose their other one. However good they may be at fighting. Oh, there's a giant blue jay. Right, let's... see if we can send some of our swimming capable dwarves after it. That was fairly swift. I don't know if that was actually one of our swimming capable dwarves. Competent. But actually in the cobalt tongs, well, you should probably be moved into one of the others, shouldn't you? Who are you? What's your name? Your name is Saxul near Bomrek. Waters of Twinkling is full already. And then let's point someone new into the gap in the cobalt tongs. More or less. I mean, really, I should appoint someone who can't swim, but like that would be a faff to work out. It doesn't matter that much. Right, so as reward for having killed that giant blue jay, that named giant blue jay indeed.
Ooh, I'm sure someone will make a thing about that at some point.
No, it was quite seriously injured by a passing horse. But yes, a good stabbing with a spear dealt with the giant blue jay. As reward for killing it, you now get to join a different squad, because it turns out you can swim and I spotted you. What's that? It's a forbidden rabbit corpse. Why is there a forbidden rabbit corpse? I wonder if there's something like the rabbit died of old age during a that's the one we just looked at, isn't it? I think so, yes. I wonder if it died during the most recent siege and got forbidden as a result, because it was like, we don't want people rushing out into a battlefield and retrieving dead pets. On which subject? How is our oldest, or at least longest standing, unowned pet doing, unowned animal doing? So you're yes, you're a named ram, but there was a stray reindeer bull there. What's your age? You're 10 years old. You probably want slaughtering before you die of old age inconveniently. Let's do that whole group of reindeer. Yes, which will increase our stock of meat even more. Yes, the kittens are already marked for gelding. In a bid to slightly control the cat explosion. So who are you? You're only a dabbling swimmer.
That sounds like sounds like you mostly have your head down and your tail up.
You're only a novice swimmer. Oh, there's a message. Oh, we've lost a doctor. Imush Degel Bal.
I worry a lot more about this if your fortress wasn't quite full of doctors.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a problem insofar as we have plenty of doctors, but like, I fear they may have gone and drowned. Oh, look, here's Imush Degelbal's corpse in the sea. Stop drowning, you guys.
I like the idea that the first thing you notice that a doctor's gone missing is patients can complain about missing appointments.
Something like that, yes. What now? All right, you found them. Well done. Why? What's going on in this square? Someone has gone and stripped off on that square. Oh, was that a month boundary that passed while you were riding a minecart? And so you went, oh, I'll take off all my clothes while riding this minecart because now I'm meant to be in the military. I thought we'd organised things so you didn't do that, but apparently not well enough. Well, your clothes are going to be stuck there until we next have cause to drain the swimming pool, I'm afraid. Right, a stray reindeer bull has been slaughtered. And we can presumably confirm that by checking that you are actually, yes, you're wearing nothing at all because, well, maybe you'll bother putting some clothes on when you get out of the minecart. I mean, putting some armour on. they're meant all to be scheduled to like wear their armour all the time. So you shouldn't have stripped off while in the minecart, because he should have been in his armour already. But like apparently he couldn't manage to organise that properly. How about you? You're in the Ageless Inks and are only a novice swimmer. I mean, I suppose I should just do the usual evaluation of you. Are you a swimmer? You're a skilled swimmer, but a member of the Cobalt Tongs. So I could stick you into a different group. That seems sensible, doesn't it? Digel Rashguralath. Oh, right, you were the one that yes, that's why you suddenly became a soldier, because you were the one that I just put in as a replacement for someone who'd been moved out of the Cobalt Tongs because they could swim. So that was slightly my fault. Oh well, all your clothes are nonetheless in the swimming pool, because you took them off while you were swimming.
This makes about the usual amount of sense.
Right, we appear to have another giant blue jay causing trouble there. Which squad is meant to be on patrol at the moment? It's your squad, which is the Cobalt Tongs, right. So let's just go up here and choose the Cobalt Tongs and tell them, please, if you wouldn't mind, dispatch that giant blue jay. So is this mostly just... Right, I think this is... the blue jay is managing to get some solid hits in on this poor dwarf. The blue jay has flown away now. Going on there. So that event did happen at ground level. Yeah, the Cobalt Tongs order has vanished, so clearly that something killed that giant blue jay. What? I mean, that doesn't look like a giant blue jay that was about to die. Like, you'd have been punched a bit, but that had only led to bruising. Oh, right, there. The doctor scratches the agitated giant blue jay in the throat, tearing the skin. A major artery has been opened. And, well, after that, the giant blue jay carried on attacking for a little while.
And then mysteriously it ran out of blood.
Yes. It is now lying in a pool of giant blue jay blood. Right, that explains that. Good. Right, the three heads that were meant to be being put on the pedestals have all been put there, so let's find another one, because I think we now know how to do this in a reasonably organised fashion. And it involves scrolling backwards through this list and going, is there a head attached to a name that looks like a goblin? Those look like... Oh, but no, first we have to forbid the existing heads, don't we? Those 3 have now been installed, and now we can forbid them. And then they won't appear on the list. Yes, that's the plan. The plan is every head that's on a pedestal should be forbidden so that it doesn't appear on the list again. Right, now, body parts. There we are. That looks like a goblin name. What's that? All right, that is indeed someone's head and will be used in due course. Okay, that's that same one. We can throw that away. Right, whether we can actually get these giant blue jays butchered before they all rot, I don't know. There's one placed in the stockpile awaiting processing. Right, you're an adequate swimmer. Right, you should join the military then. Onget Idorast. But you should not join the military yet, because otherwise you'll take your clothes off while you're in the swimming pool. See, I am paying attention really. How about you? You're a skilled swimmer and you're in the Ageless Ink, so you want moving as well, right? So the next two, next dwarf to leave on each side should be placed in the military. Or rather, should be placed in the amphibious military. Onget Howlsaber has just got off a minecart. And therefore can be placed into Splatter the Lyrical Seas of Turmoil, which will probably cause them to immediately take all their clothes off. This is Udib Glory's busts, and she is already in the military, but she now knows how to swim, so we should move her into Splatter the Lyrical Seas as well. And then put someone else into the Ageless Inks. Basically, whoever happens to be lying around, really. So how about the next batch? You're quite unhappy. You were satisfied on improving swimming, though. That's nice. You're now adequate. I'm wondering if I want to stick you in the lardy larks for a bit, because you seem to have a lot of needs, and a lot of needs that you might actually be able to fulfill if you just got a chance to. You're only a dabbling swimmer, so you're not interesting. Right, so this one, should I stick her in the lardy larks because I think she's a bit unhappy? Let's look at how unhappy she actually is. Suxel key brushes. She's all the way up at yellow. That's not really a serious problem. And she has decided to store an iron battle axe that someone has left behind. But I think we want to move her from the Ageless Inks into Splatter the Lyrical Seas. Let's have two members of the squad all called Suxel. She, of course, is already wearing sensible armour for a military dwarf anyway. I mean, fairly sensible. That's just telling me this reindeer has been slaughtered. Good. That's perfectly ordinary. There appears still to be giant blue jays out there, but not currently getting into many fights. Why has no one dumped that agitated giant flykite in yet? Hey? Someone is thinking about it now. Presumably there is a butcher an animal task waiting. Several dwarves hauling more dead giant blue jays into the fortress. Right. No. No. Wait a bit longer for dwarves to learn how to swim. We were trying to improve our armour situation, weren't we? Is there still a task for that? It looks like there isn't. So I think we might now be in a situation where everyone actually has steel boots, or at least theoretically has steel boots. If we go down to the bottom of the list, we can go. We can't go what are your boots directly because, of course, boots come in pairs, and so we just see two boots. Thank you. Yeah, so you're wearing steel high boots, for instance. Well, you're wearing a steel high boot. How about putting boots on both feet? I suppose one way to check is just to go, how many steel high boots have we got? We have 98 steel high boots, which is okay, since we have 5 substantive squads of 10 dwarves each, strictly means we are 2 steel high boots short of being able to equip everyone with them. So I think 1 is the correct number, and that produces a pair, as I recall. But then we should probably look at what other armour everyone wants. So how are we off for steel mail shirts? We have 47 steel mail shirts, so we're 3 steel mail shirts short. Let's make 3 steel mail shirts as well. Possibly like we should actually have a slight slack, but I should probably also check that we, no, that's the wrong one, that we have adequate steel for this job. Stocks. I've got 61 steel bars at the moment. What are we being limited by there? Are we short of anything? By which I probably mean we've got adequate flux stone at the moment, right. I think Eddington lunch could be a thing, yes. Sorry, that's not a very helpful thing for anyone on watching the stream who isn't also on IRC. So, yes, so this is all kind of a bit, nothing much is happening, partly because I'm just trying to get things, the military in particular, more organised to the point where I feel I can fight off the next attack, or indeed surprising wildlife. And like everything's going all right at the moment. Someone needs to do some butchery. Is that task marked as active? No. Possibly we need to assign another butcher then. Do I have a group of butchers? I think I do, yes. Okay, well, I have no idea who's going to be good at butchery, but let's just put someone else into the group. See if they can learn. See if they like. Actually, I should probably. Oh right, yes, I did pick someone who was idle, or at least close enough to idle. I should try to go to bed at a reasonable hour tonight, given I'm making bookings for tomorrow. Right, this poor novice butcher or whatever they are will probably take a little while over this task. as they try to work out how to take apart a giant blue jay. Legendary you might have hoped that legendary surgeon would be transferable into butchery. But maybe they just keep insisting on putting the thing back together again. We've apparently mislaid. Admittedly, that was an axe lord getting into a fight, which probably means the giant blue jay didn't win. But I should really have asked to look at it. Possibly that one. Like, the patrols do mostly seem to be working at the moment, which is nice. What's that? All right, it's a giant blue jay beak. So is that that's that one placed, so that can be forbidden, and we can attempt to assign another one. I think the reason we have a small stock of nautilus shells here is just in case anyone gets into a strange mood that requires shell. Okay, are there actually any more dead goblin heads lying around? Come to think of it, I don't think the stockpile had any, so I think maybe we have finished putting dead goblins on pedestals, or at least dead goblins' heads on pedestals, until the next batch come along. Oh no, that looks like a goblin name. Wonder where that head is. Well, we'll see if anyone can find it. I suppose if I go into the stocks, I might be able to find the remaining things that look like goblin heads that aren't forbidden. Bet I can't type head in here. No. Why does the search have that problem? It's very annoying. An awful lot of objects in this list, though. So while in theory I could find things that look like goblin heads and click on the show me the information about this object link, might be too tedious just to find them. Oh, that was one. Ah, right, we have some of the goblin heads are in trees. So possibly we might be able to get them down by like building a staircase up into the tree. I don't know. Let's go for right next to it for now, and we'll see if they can get from there to elsewhere. Right. What's that about? That's just telling me that another reindeer has been slaughtered, which is as it should be. Our new butcher has apparently at least managed to butcher one animal. So, just curious, is this the novice rusty butcher? Yes. You felt satisfied after slaughtering an animal. Good. Good job you don't feel anything after seeing a giant blue jay's dead body, because you're going to be doing a lot of it if you're in the butchery business. So let's just check these. You're an adequate swimmer and not in any squad. You're an adequate swimmer. Are you the same one I looked at just now? I think you are. And in no squad. I should have started at the top, shouldn't I? You're a competent swimmer and in splatter. So Nish Rizen Massos should be placed into a suitable squad when they arrive. You should also go into a suitable squad when you arrive, right? Zan Sinkadol is about to leave the swimming pool. Is already on their way to individual combat drill, but we are going to suddenly tell them that they're actually in a different squad. No, to click on there first. What are you up to? You are actually possibly getting distracted a little by storing an item, but that's fine. So who's the next one on that side? You also need to be moved between squads. Oh, only 3 maximally unhappy dwarves. That's exciting. And they're all children. Momos Avuz Lular has meditated on torture so much they've cheered up slightly. Soapy baths are helping. Legendary dining rooms are helping. Remembering learning about bone setting is apparently helping a bit. So we're presumably, at some point, I'm going to successfully fill both of my amphibious squads. Both of these two are going into them. And at that point, we'll have to work out what we do next. next, which would probably make more amphibious squads, possibly disbanding one of the non-amphibious squads in the process. Let's follow the southern one of these. Right, so you are Nish Risen Massos. And you, who can also swim, are Endok Kadol Sarvesh. So I'm not sure if we're like actually right now teaching people to swim usefully, but it is looking like that. You can be shifted, only you're actually the captain of the Ageless Inks, so I don't think I'm going to try to move you right now. You're a proficient swimmer, but you're already in a suitable squad. Seem to have a lot of vermin in this area, like slugs and such. Can I like assign a cat or two to this, since there's a pasture there anyway? Oh, I have assigned a cat or two to it, and it apparently hasn't done much good. Let's add another cat. Maybe someone else would prefer to eat the slugs, I'm not sure. You're an adequate swimmer who's in the Ageless Inks. Oh yes, you were the captain of it. I'd already looked that one up. And I'd already looked you up, and you're already in Splatter the Lyrical Seas, and so you don't need to be moved, so we can have a bit of rest from reassigning everyone to different squads. Is anyone actually going to like sort out those tasks? Don't need reindeer bull cartilage or nervous tissue. That giant fly chitin is still waiting to be disposed of. Right, so now we wait for another batch of dwarves to cycle through the swimming pool. You're a militia captain, so I'm probably not going to move you either. Especially not since you're already in an amphibious squad. You'll be moved though, eventually. Dum-de-dum. Sorry, I'm paying slightly too much attention to the swimming and not enough to other things. Has someone just left? Yes, you. But you're already a militia captain, so we don't need to pay any attention to you. But like, this machine took so long to build, and now it works. Right, so this is someone who is in the military, but in the wrong squad, given that they are an adequate swimmer. once they've properly got off the minecart, we will then add lead Roldeth Geshud into the final position in Splatter the Lyrical Seas of Turmoil. So that means that both Splatter the Lyrical Seas and the Waters of Twinkling are fully equipped with dwarves who know how to swim. So I think what I want to do now is to take one of the existing non-amphibious squads and turn it into an amphibious one. Possibly we should take the one that had a... I mean, the Ageless Inks is very short of members, and so will be relatively easy to transform. Who is the Ageless Inks leader? Vutok Bomb something. Let's look them up in the list. Vutok Bomb Rekarek. Who is an adequate swimmer. So I think now what I want to do is to take the Ageless Inks and turn them into the next amphibious squad. So we have a Shorast N, who must be Shorak Nakuth Della, who cannot swim. So they're going to have to be removed from this squad. We have a Litast something. Litast Stedad Call, who is a proficient swimmer, so they can stay. We have a Dumat Shaw something. Dumat Shorest Shameb, who is an adequate swimmer, so they can stay. We have Uvash Kill something. Uvash Kilrod Dotad, who is apparently currently unwell, having been seriously injured fighting a giant blue jay. Anyway, I didn't check whether they could swim though. And he can not swim. And also has no combat skills. And so probably shouldn't be in there. And we have Nil Uzolt something. Nil Uzoltithal. Nil Uzoltithal, who also doesn't know how to swim. And is frankly not much good in the military either. Right, so now the remaining 3 members of the Ageless Inks all know how to swim. Slightly confused. Am I allowed to give them an arbitrary name? I thought I had that the naming went through like... Oh, right. That suggests I can type an arbitrary name, but obviously there's no fun in that. So they obviously need a new name. So should we change the noun or the adjective, I wonder? Like, can we just make them the ageless sinks, for instance? No, because we only have that as a verb. No, you can't have the inky inks, Ben. I mean, that is more liquid, but it's not really properly liquid. Oh, the salty inks. I like that one. Right. So, now we have another amphibious squad who can be, whom we can assign swimming capable dwarves to. If we have any gaps in, we've got a gap there. Let's put one of our recently fired competent people. There's only actually one recently fired competent person, right? They can go in the cobalt tongs. Right, yes, that's our friend One Hand Omris Knockhim, who is not allowed in the military. And this is our friend who has paralysed legs, who is also probably not joining the military. How about you? You're not good enough at swimming yet. And neither are you. Right, well, we can ignore that for a little while then. Is someone attempting to butcher something? I just assigned an entire new butcher, and yet there is no butchery going on. Also, this stockpile keeps being full of things that no one's getting around to dumping. Let's give it a little while, but if the butchery task doesn't become active soon, I'll assign a 5th butcher. Because, like, getting butchery done promptly is kind of important. Yeah, let's assign another butcher. Who should it be? I don't know. Someone who doesn't have many other tasks and isn't currently busy fighting. And I really want someone who is currently in a no task, no job mode. Actually, maybe I can do that in the other direction then. Maybe let's take that person out. Can we do it the other way? Go, who is currently doing nothing? No one. Everyone is busy somehow. How inconvenient. Anyone unhappy in a way that they will be cheered by learning butchery, I wonder. Oh well, someone's assigned themselves to the task now, so whatever. Right. The big stockpile is getting full again. Does have a small quantity of coffins in it though. Okay, what, 2. So we could plant those. Okay, that's rather more coffins than I was expecting. Someone appears to be going out on patrol with all their cats. Oops, that was novice, wasn't it? Oh no, you're skilled, but already in the correct squad. There is still a human trader wandering around. I'm confused by this. In particular because actually there's another human there. Because the humans have, I think, brought with them a grizzly bear, a tame grizzly bear, and I would really like to acquire the tame grizzly bear, but they won't sell it. They won't sell anything. Seth says, if your human trader dies, you might get a response from their caravan. Well, the curious thing is, that I thought humans needed to eat. So I would have expected that they would consider the possibility of starving to death by now. Oh good, some things are getting dumped at least. And there's now some space in that stockpile because we've removed some of the coffins from it. Oh, you're up to competent swimmer, right. Dorok Alathlicid can join the salty inks. But not until they get out of the water. So you can see currently fully clothed. Oh, going to store an item in a barrel rather than immediately rushing off to military training. And then distracted by pushing a vehicle again. Or maybe not. Actually, that's probably that they... Yes, has now abandoned all their clothes. Good. Well, I mean, not good, but... It's the usual thing. Has thus probably abandoned their clothes on the minecart track, which might be embarrassing later. Oh no, I don't think they have. Oh yes, they have. They're just on. It's just down there. Well, I hope someone tidies those away soon. Not by getting run down by a minecart. Right. Sorry, I was getting distracted by a thing. So is this someone I need to be worrying about? No. Is this someone I need to be worrying about? Yes. You're the mayor. Possibly I shouldn't put the mayor into the military, actually.
The previous one was.
Yeah, but I think having them not disappear off for a month at a time to do something odd is probably good for like the necessity of, oh, we've gone up to 4 unhappy dwarves again. People being able to shout at them, parley, etc. Oh, it's just a child. Right, good. And you're praying, which is probably good for you. Hey, what happened there? Seemed like it all froze up for a bit. I mean, you apparently want some actual martial training, which you might get eventually. Like, you're going to need to make yourself some family first if you want to spend some time with them. Oh, we found another giant blue jay I should investigate. Right, no problem. Giant blue jay is already an ex-giant blue jay. Given that its head's in the next county, I don't think there's any doubt about this. So how are you? Already properly assigned. Good. You're still learning to swim. Oh dear, there's a giant leopard gecko. Those are a bit scary. I mean, admittedly, it's just been killed by a axe lord. Probably on patrol, in fact. Yes. Hammer lord, rather. Yes, this hammer lord here, who has just quickly killed the giant leopard gecko. Which means yet more butchery. Oh, suggesting the trader might be a vampire. It's possible. I mean, my current assumption is just that maybe being a trader means they don't have to eat. But, well, we'll see if anyone gets killed by vampires. We did have a vampire earlier, but we sent them away. Because it turns out you can do that. At least, oh, I didn't think you were that unhappy. That's a little alarming. Mama's Avos Lular has apparently slipped into depression, despite being only in the orange layer of unhappiness.
Ooh, I think we're having a game of spot the stealth undead here.
Yeah, we're not putting you in the military. I mean, it's still good that dwarves learn to swim, even if they're not going to join the military, because like that means that when they fall in the sea, unhappiness doesn't ensue. Now I need to like actually check whether each dwarf is in a suitable squad before checking whether they can swim, because it seems that it's most often, oh, they're already in the correct squad. Which is kind of comfortable. Oh yes, did you manage to find that head then? Yes. We managed to get the heads out of the tree. Where did I build that staircase? There. There's still a tooth in that tree. You don't really need teeth, as it were. Right, well, anyway, that's now a forbidden head. So now we can add another one from here. I am at the point where I think I should start erecting more pedestals. So I think I'm also at the point where we don't have many goblin heads left to put on them. But that will only last until the next goblin siege. That looks like a dwarven name, so I'm not going to choose that one. Ditto that one. Avuz is definitely dwarven. Lots of teeth around. Okay, I think we may have reached the point. That's blatantly a dwarven name. Where that's not though. Where there is one goblin head that still needs to be displayed. Is it by any chance that one? Yeah, no, that's a foot. What? What's that doing there? Right, well that does only leave us with 2 empty pedestals. I think we've probably got a decent number of them in stock now. Okay, no, we've got 1 of them in stock. Well, we'll erect that outside the west gate then. Possibly we need to make some more pedestals. But I think we're currently in the middle of making a load of other stone things. We did seem to have a lot of blocks in stock. I should look at the block making job and see what's going on there. Now, make rock blocks is currently suspended, so that's fine. At least the armour making jobs are allegedly ready to go. Just confirm you are... That's the button I want first. You're not in an interesting squad, but also not an interesting swimmer. You are in an interesting squad. More bits of useless, or rather more useless bits of animals we should discard. Not least so that we have the space for more useful bits. Right, so maybe we should start working out what we're doing with this roller coaster or scenic railway or whatever it is. It's been a while since we've tried to do anything with it. I'm not even quite sure how it was meant to work. Oh, the human merchant is fighting. The human merchant has had an artery opened by an agitated giant blue jay and has slammed into an obstacle. Has apparently done so at that layer. Who is it? It's Kima Ules Seduk. Who doesn't appear on the list of people anymore. I am sorry to report that your friend, or at least colleague, may have inadvertently died. Let's see if we can find... Oh, I've lost the boss name again. Because the message came from down here, which seems weird. Well, let's, as like a kind of precaution, arrange to put human corpses in our foreign corpses stockpile. On the assumption that the human trader died somewhere that we can find. And so we can send someone out to bring back their body. Even if I can't work out immediately precisely where it was. There's an agitated giant eagle there. Well, it's engaging with someone who's actually adequately armed, so probably they will come out the better. Yep, that seems to have worked. I mean, possibly a giant eagle is so big that you can only hit it in the foot. Because, yes, this does seem to be mostly, gradually getting higher up. So, yes, that was a fairly effective beating up with a bismuth bronze warhammer of a giant eagle. We do have a giant eagle in a cage, which we're trying to... they're getting adequately well trained now. We might be able to let the giant eagle out of the cage. Do they now appear on this list? Yes, skillfully trained but caged. Well, obviously, we let the giant eagle out of the cage and mark them as available as a pet and see what happens. What's to stop the giant eagle running away is that it's been trained and thus might stay, willing to stay around the dwarves who have been politely feeding it. That's the hope anyway. Who's been shooting a giant sea otter? Oh, was the giant, or rather the agitated sea otter. Have they met one of our traps? Oh dear, right, yes. Yes, we have a couple of... we have quite a lot of sea otter corpses that have had an unfortunate encounter with our anti-goblin traps because they... sadly, the anti-goblin traps also work on sea otters. Now down to only 2 red unhappiness dwarves, though Mama's Avos Lula is still sunk into depression, but also not allowed on the minecarts. Right, here is our trained giant eagle. She is relieved after being released from confinement. And is wandering into the fortress where she's like allowed to be now. Sadly, we can't give a giant eagle. She has a natural inclination towards language, which is a bit worrying. We can't train a giant eagle for war. I think she did just consume some bit of vermin that was lying around, though. So, like, our hope now is that someone will decide they really like giant eagles and want one for a pet. Don't know if this will work.
How giant is a giant eagle?
I don't know. We don't have a dead one to weigh. Well, actually, we do have a dead one to weigh. It's down here.
I'm just thinking on the impracticality of keeping pets.
Quite small, 216 kilos. I mean, by the standards of the giant animals we've got around, compared to the giant flies, which are like 1.5 tons or something.
Yes. I mean, it would still be a bit vigorous to feed, but...
Yeah, so like she's sort of, yeah, I mean, big for a bird.
Okay, this is a two-dimensional game, and that's how they get around the cube square law.
Well, it's kind of not two-dimensional. It's kind of also everything occupies one square, except for wagons. Also, it's a game that has rocks, so really, without a K, so really... also with a K, yes. That's almost knock him, you still can't put him into a squad. He doesn't do very much, he mostly rides minecarts and becomes amazingly good at swimming. You, on the other hand, should probably be put into a squad at some point, but not while you're actually riding minecarts. I just looked at you, didn't I? And found you couldn't swim yet, yes. All right, here we come. Shem Emetushat should join the Salty Inks. And is thus probably going to suddenly go, oh, I will not wear any clothes. And then I'll take what I will take all my clothes off, leave them here, apart from one sock, which I will take and put in my bedroom. Then I will go and get my armour. Though probably in an unhelpful order. Maybe I should. So what order they'd pick these up in? They grab a shield. Okay, shield and a boot and a boot and a mail shirt. And I think maybe then wander off to try to find some leather trousers. So are you going to look for some leather trousers? Brief moment of cheerfulness as she passes the waterfall, and also content after putting on some decent armour. Oh no, you were trying to get yourself a flask full of sandpear cider so that you can drink while you're on patrol. Maybe we should thus keep flasks and water skins down with the armour. Wonder how many of them we've got. Because now there's going to be a bit of a trek back down to the armour stockpile. Don't think fights with Tearsal peregrines are anything to worry about. Right, I think that's adequately dressed. You don't have a weapon. Like, if you're going to combat training, I would suggest you might want to take one with you. But whatever. You're going to find some combat training to actually do now. Waiting for combat training. Well, that's probably a good position to be in, even if you still don't have a weapon. So since we seem to have this I mean, I suppose it doesn't really matter where you go to pick up your stuff because, oh dear, something's rotting. Because, like, most dwarves only actually have to do it once. Yeah, we're not actually managing to butcher the giant blue jays fast enough. I think in part because it takes quite a lot of time to. They take quite a lot of time to butcher. I think in part because someone was butchering things in the wrong order. Steph says, "Are they still all expert surgeons?" Mostly, yes. I was complaining earlier that apparently being an expert surgeon doesn't transfer into being an expert butcher, which seems slightly unhelpful.
They probably can't get rid of the instinct to make sure you put the animal back together again afterwards.
Yes, indeed.
It's like someone who is too safe a driver is terrible at motorsport.
Yes. Oh dear, why is there a peacock fighting? Is this... Oh right, this is a tantruming child who's fighting with all the animals. Oh, I should have a quick look at my... see if there's anyone... Look at the pets and see if there's anyone else who needs gelding. Yes. We do have still a bit of a surplus of cats. The stray giant eagle is already 10 years old. They may not actually last very long. Oh well. I mean, I suppose one way we could reduce the number of... what's going on down here? Hazelnuts, what's going on down there. One way we could reduce the number of animals we have to butcher is by putting out more cage traps and trying to tame them all instead. Right, you want to join the military. Momo's Merrill Eaton. Currently sensibly dressed, not anymore. Has decided, despite having immediately taken all their clothes off, that what they're going to do now is ride the minecart again. Or not. Because a lot of the time, if you try to launch the minecart, you'll immediately get pushed back again because the track ahead isn't clear. You've decided you're not going to get your armour first. You're going to go and immediately get your water skin or whatever, haven't you? Oh well. Oh dear, dead dog. Let's try to find it and mark it for dumping before it starts to smell. Okay, why is no one doing a butchery task? Let's find someone who we can put onto butchery tasks. Kib Ralu Koltar currently has no job, but let's choose someone who isn't a leader of a military thing. Zan Singh Kadol will be added to the butchers. Largely in order to increase our butchery capacity. So have they now? Yes, they have now picked up the task of their first bit of butchering. Never tried it before, but how hard can it be? Also get to be delighted near a waterfall again. Yes, I'm sorry, this task is going to cause you to see quite a lot of giant blue jays' dead bodies. I think I think there are still bits of the leopard gecko in the butcher's shop, which is why we got a message about doesn't feel anything after seeing a dead leopard gecko. One is marked for dumping, just someone has to come along and do it. Oh, have you successfully butchered a thing? Excellent. So is someone... no one's doing any butchery again. Like, how many people do I have to assign to this task to get it adequately kept up with? So has Zan Sankarol found another job to do or something? Yes. Okay, well, let's assign another dwarf to butchery then. Who was it going to be? Someone else who's currently on no job. Erush Lila Sazir. Obviously, I could allow everyone to do this, but it's also a job that would benefit from being done competently. So I want to keep the number as low as I can. Oh, Bomrek Aran Zephon could join the military. Let's wait for them to leave the swimming pool then.
Cannot join military while soggy.
No, because they do stupid things if you allow that to happen. They'll leave soon. There we go. Follow. They have unfortunately left all their clothes on the track stop, which might be a bit of an embarrassment later. We'll see. I mean, the piles of clothes around here do eventually get picked up and put somewhere more useful. You've just got off the minecart. And you're a competent swimmer too. Right, okay. Ilral Kubuglathon. Who has not immediately taken their clothes off because they've decided they want some other item first. Oh, now they have. Well, that's fine. They at least have left their clothes somewhere not very inconvenient. What else is this? That's because they've become a recruit. Oh, Avuz Lula is still unwell. Something is still making my cats pregnant.
Other cats?
Well, yeah, you might think so, but I am trying to be reasonably efficient at gelding every fresh cat that turns up. And surely I'm gelding them fast enough. But we still have quite a lot of kittens.
No, clearly the correct response is something to do my cat's pregnant is how about the one that's on it?
Thank you. All right, I don't actually have to go to the military squads tab to work out what squad someone's in, because it does appear on the front page, on the summary page, if I'm paying attention. So you, for instance, don't need to be put into the military. You're in the Cobalt Tongs, but I've already checked that you can't swim, so at least I think I have. Yes. But we're almost up to 3 squads of dwarves who can swim, even if they don't have much by way of actual fighting talent.
I mean, to some extent, the purpose of your military is to look like bait and then retreat across the river.
Yes, especially the ones who can swim. They ideally they would have decent dodging skill. But yeah, they don't actually need to. We have a strange mood underway. You're an adequate swimmer. You can be put into a squad. Aban Lissat Bomrek. No, Ben, don't do that. It's terribly distracting. Oh, I think we're going to get another artifact mechanism out of this. Are you going to emerge from the water anytime soon? Yes.
Oh, yeah, you see, it's like a cow calling to its. It sounds like the end of rain, that minute.
But you've decided you're going to go and tan a hide before you actually go and start your training. Okay. There are plenty of hides that need tanning.
That smacks somewhat of procrastination activity. I know I'm supposed to be training for the military, but I'll just go and do some tanning. I've been meaning to get round to it for ages.
That was pretty quick. Already on the way to do something else. So that's the where is, yes, there's our tanner's shop. Oh, I think they managed. I think actually that job got cancelled, given that there's a giant blue jay skin lying around in the tanner's shop. Some of these items we can just mark for dumping before they even get stuffed back into a stockpile. Feathers are not in general worth keeping, nor is giant fly chitin, nor is giant leopard gecko nose cartilage. Yes, it is in fact 2 minutes past midnight. So, horseshoe crab. Okay, it appears that horseshoe crabs are not very scary, given that one appeared to die to a single punch. Still, we might end up with some horseshoe crab shell in stock. So what's Solon doing? They're currently hauling some hematite, right, yes. That's probably going to take a little while, isn't it? Well, I hope you don't want too many rocks from the depths of our mines in your artifact, because, yeah, that's a good way to... Oh, you should probably be... you're in the wrong squad. That's a good way to end up, like, dying of dehydration while trying to haul objects around. Maybe the dwarves can find food in the middle of a strange mood, but I'm not sure. So you, yes, are in the cobalt tongs, but are actually a skilled swimmer. And adequate swords dwarf. Hang on, what was your name? Nish. Is it Nish Zanagast? Right. So that means that the new salty inks are fully populated with dwarves who can swim. We have 3 complete squads who know how to swim. The Cobalt Tongs and the Wanderers of Tongs still exist, but possibly the next job, which I will not do now, is to pick one of those and convert them into a swimming one. Dizzy, says, you need to launch a war against the fishes.
Oh, Okay. Can very stop you got all the fish?
I don't think we need to launch war against all the fishes. That sea otter corpse has been there for so long it started rotting before we even got it inside. Sea otters are much more sensitive. They're still quite big actually, 40 kilos for a sea otter. Right, giant blue jay head is worth butchering on its own, it would appear. Right, so I think with that one additional squad of swimming capable dwarves, plus like we actually populated the other two, we're getting to a situation of some kind of military preparedness, though really everyone needs some training now. Happily, they will get it just as time goes by. So I think that will probably be all for tonight, and we will come back. Oh, there's another giant blue jay. But it's apparently fighting an axe lord, so I don't think we need to send anyone after it specifically. No, not today. So yes, I think we'll be back, or might be back on Sunday. I expect so. So until then, I will save and say good night. Good night.